You ever read a really powerful mission statement like the Earth Charter and think to yourself, this is incredible, but what am I supposed to do with it tomorrow morning? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're going to build that bridge from these huge, inspiring ideas to small, real-world actions.
Our focus is going to be on the very first pillar of the Earth Charter, respect and care for the community of life. It sounds simple, but it's this profound foundational idea that asks us to totally rethink our relationship with the world. So, how do we actually do that?
Here's the plan. We're going to break this whole pillar down into 4 key principles. And for each one, we'll look at a simple, practical activity you can actually do. We're going to move from just being aware to taking action, from what's in our own backyard all the way to the future itself.
So, our journey has to start somewhere, right? It starts right where we are. It's about grounding ourselves in our immediate surroundings and, just paying attention to what's literally right in front of us.
This first principle is all about respect. But we're not talking about some big, abstract, global idea. We're talking about something tangible, something local. It all begins by simply noticing, and I mean really noticing, the incredible variety of life that shares our little corner of the world. The biodiversity map is such a great way to put this into practice. And this isn't just some science project for kids, okay? Think of it more like a mindfulness exercise. It's about retraining your eyes to see past just a green blur and actually recognize the insects, the birds, the weeds, the different kinds of trees, to see your own neighborhood as the living, breathing ecosystem it truly is. Okay, so once we've got that foundation of looking outward, now we turn inward. This next principle asks us to go beyond just respect and move into a much deeper emotional connection.
And just notice the words here. There's a really powerful shift. We've gone from respect to care, compassion, and love. This isn't just about acknowledging that something exists anymore. It's about valuing it and really understanding how deeply connected we are to it.
So, the Compassion Journal is an exercise in seeing the invisible. Seriously, think about the coffee you had this morning. Who grew those beans? Who drove the truck that brought them here? Who makes sure the water coming out of your tap is clean? This practice helps you see this huge, unseen web of people and natural systems that support you every single moment.
And when you take a minute to actually thank someone in that chain, maybe it's a farmer, or maybe it's the person who collects your recycling, it turns this abstract idea into a real human connection. It's a really powerful act.
All right, so once we've started building that personal awareness and that sense of compassion, the next logical step is to bring those values out into our community.
The keyword here, the one I really want you to focus on, is participatory. A sustainable community isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we have to build together. And that takes practice, it takes skills, and honestly just takes showing up. This is why the Mock Town Hall is such a brilliant exercise. It's like a workout for your civic muscles. It forces you to get out of your own head and actually argue from someone else's point of view, to genuinely try and understand what they care about and what they're afraid of. It's basically a rehearsal for real-world engagement. I mean, think about a classic debate like this one. Can you see why both sides feel so strongly? Can you see the valid points they're both making? The goal isn't to win the argument. The goal is to understand the argument. Practicing this skill makes us way more effective and a lot more empathetic when we get involved for real. So we've looked at our local environment, we've looked at our inner values, and we've looked at our community. This final principle expands our circle of care even further. It stretches it across time to people we are never, ever going to meet. This is all about stewardship. It's about being a good ancestor. It asks a pretty fundamental question. What kind of world are we leaving behind? It's asking us to connect what we do today with the consequences way, way down the road. And an activity like the Time Capsule Project makes this huge, abstract idea feel intensely personal. When you sit down to write a letter to someone in 2075, you're not just, hoping for a better future. You're kind of making a promise. You have to ask yourself, okay, what am I actually doing to protect this thing that I love so much? It really solidifies your own commitment. So think about where we've been. We've journeyed from just noticing the little bugs on your street, to thanking the people who grow your food, to practicing how to have a civic debate, and finally, to making a promise to the future. You see how each step builds on the last? The Earth Charter isn't just some document to hang on a wall and admire. It's a real framework for living. And these practices show us how. So I guess the only question left is, which step are you going to take first? Where does your journey begin?